A 52-year-old school was founded that the community needs a good school. And since then we have been linked to the community, and that linkage to the community, you will see how we have created leadership within the community, within the teacher community, within the wider community of Dubai, within the student community. And my colleague, Mr. Abraham Prakash, Principal, Boys Section, and Sir Sudhir, Senior Supervisor, would be presenting the session along with the parents. Sir.
Good morning to one and all. In the true spirit of appreciative inquiry, the team under the leadership of our CEO, Mr. Ashok Kumar, is trying to share with you how we had this co-evolutionary research to find the different communities to which the school can serve beyond the classroom. How we identified different communities which do not overlap, and how we planned to provide the service to all these communities, starting from networking to providing. And as you have heard this morning, Dr. Abdullah Al-Karam was mentioning our CEO's name also, start being a good person in the networking. So that's where we start the whole program. So when we start with networking and to render the service to these communities, there are two other steps in between, 2 C's, as they call us, 4 C's in this program. So to present this to you, we have with us parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ganesh, and one of our Hamdan Award winners. He is one among the 8 Hamdan Award winners of the Indian High School of this year. And Mrs. Saraswati Raj, who has the additional responsibility of quality management in this school. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To quickly run you through as to how we created a school that benefits the wider community. Let's first define community, because wider community can be a very generic term. How wide is wide, right? So this is not a scientific model. This is just something to facilitate ease of understanding for this morning session, right? We'll begin with our school community, which is really immediate and individual. That means it's just the Indian high school per se, and for you it is your respective school and the members of your school community, which could be the parents, the stakeholders, the parents, the students, the staff, the management. From there we go beyond to the educational community, which is again a collection of schools, but then our basic interest and our basic work matches. So like I said, this is just to facilitate understanding. It doesn't have to be this way for everybody. So from one school we move to a collection of schools, and this community then is slightly larger than the individual school community. And beyond the educational community, we will examine how the school reaches out to societal community, in other words, society itself, right? How we reach out, or our outreach programs that benefit society, or how we interact with society. Now, how do we serve each of these communities? That's Indian High School right on top. The school community, like I said, are parents, and how we, they are just for information over here, we have about 11,000 students currently registered on our rolls. So our parent community is really, really huge. So that's a separate, kind of a program. Then educational community, cooperation, coordination with other schools, and societal community will, of course, be our corporate social responsibility. How do we build communities? Very briefly, sir began by explaining. The first and obvious step would be networking. Like sir again said, it was mentioned in the morning in our inaugural session how important networking is. Today we have principals from all over the Gulf who are going to carry the message forward. That's exactly what the benefits of networking are. So we begin with network, and that is not always easily done. We really need to make our presence felt in society before people start taking us seriously. And people will only take us seriously when we show how serious we are about our intentions, about how focused we are in our outreach. It is not, we can't, we say this to our children as teachers too. Nobody can live in an individual unit, right? No one is, no matter how powerful or how successful that nation is, it can't live in isolation. So that's exactly, that's how important networking is and reaching out to society in general would be. Now, having established your network, what happens next? You get down and you communicate with them. Why do we communicate? In order to seek, scope for collaboration. That should be the purpose of communication. I mean, not, I'm doing this and you're doing this, and okay, you go ahead and do that, and I keep doing what I am doing. So the purpose of communication should be very clear, to look out for areas or common areas of interest, and where, what you are doing and what I am doing can add up into something larger and more meaningful, so that our mission or, our purpose can benefit a larger and larger section of the society. And finally, after having collaborated and found this common ground, what happens? If I have a need, can somebody help me out with what I have, what I need your assistance in? And if you have a need, now let me do some homework and find out if I have something in my institution that perhaps you could make use of or you could draw from, right? So again, I'm coming back to the point, this is not a scientific model, this is just something that we are presenting in order to facilitate understanding. So we'll take it from network, communicate, collaborate, and provide. So when we spoke about the three communities, the school, the education, and societal, now let's see how we do the networking and the communicating for each of these communities. When we speak of our parent community, our network is automatic. We've already got our parent profile and our data stored on our systems. So we really, and we keep talking to them ever so often. They are in touch with us all the time. How do we do that? Through our orientation programs, our newsletters, our magazines, our walk-in meetings, open door meetings. Parents are with us on a literally everyday kind of basis, right? All right, they come in, what happens? They come in, they drop us, they give us their suggestions, they tell us their concerns, they tell us what is going good, what perhaps needs a little more buffer and, strengthening. So, again, I'm coming back to our numbers. In order that 11,000 people talking there can be a lot of noise without anything substantial coming out from that. So how do we systemize that? We have what we call as focus groups in our school. So a focus group exists for every section, where we talk to parents who then, talk amongst themselves and come to us with 4 or 5 clearly defined areas of concerns, of strengths, of weaknesses, of opportunities, of literally, let me say, priorities, right, from the parent point of view or from the student point of view. So the focus groups analyzes, like I said, they identify the priorities and then helping us to identify our challenges and needs, which then gets down into provision. What do we provide? We give them solutions. If the parent has come to us with a concern, we find solutions for parents. Or if they have come to us saying, this is something that we are needing and this is not something that you are satisfying completely, then we get back, we do our rethinking and we offer them the support as required. Okay? Now, having said this, right, this is an ongoing kind of a thing in the school. It's happening all the time. There are limitless number of programs happening in the school for parents, for teachers. But in order that we hone down on one program, if I run to the profile of all those programs, we are never going to reach the end of this session. So we'll focus on one program that we have that's currently on in the school. It's called the Friday Family Club. It's about 2-3 years into its launch now. Here are parents who belong to that community, and I'd rather you hear it from them as to how the program runs and what kind of impact it has had on them as parents, as a family, and with their association with the Indian High School. Yeah,
good morning,
Mrs. and Mr. Venkatraman.
Good morning to all. Friday Family Club, I think it helped us to bring us together as a family, and it has full entertainment. And my husband used to spend his weekend on phone or on internet chatting with his friend. So we felt there was no bonding between us. We thought we'll join this club. And when we joined this club, we really enjoyed a lot. And we had a maths workshop. In that workshop, we went back to our school days, and I gracefully accepted my children's mistake. When they did mistake, I gracefully accepted it. Then we take pride in having our children in studying in Indian high school, and not only educates our children, but it takes responsibility of our next generation.
Morning to all. Thought of going to school every Friday kept motivating me to overcome the stress and demands of my job. We studied Arabic, dance salsa with my wife. We learned some stuff. My children were watching. It was so nice. Some parents were dancing. It is done by a coach, and we used to play badminton, soccer, and basketball with the children and wife. Don't ask us why we are still obese. That's another story. But it's really a good way to unwind after a week of work. We used to have a get together with the children around, and they are showing me this is my class and this is what we are doing. This is the place we play. This is the place we do. We go to they take us around for the auditorium. What had happened to the other day in the classroom. We used to go to the canteen, which was very spot in hygiene in Indian high school. We used to spend time with my children. Whatever they do, we also do the same thing. We chat with them. It's a perfect place of entertainment. And we had some sessions for automobile maintenance where we had a mechanic came with parents showing us the children how to replace batteries, change the tires,
Yeah.
etc. We had some chef from Movenpick Hotel who has taught us how to make some dishes. It's not that she's not good in cooking, but we tried different dishes. We learned so many things. And the time spent with my children in the school, the blissful days in my life. Thank you.
Thank you. Right. So that's like I said, in a series of programs, you got an idea of one among them. This is another that we would like to speak about. This is the career fair that obviously, I mean, as the name suggests, we do this for our graduating students. That means at the grade 11 and 12 stages of their education. Essentially to give our parents a sense of, what is existing outside in the world, where all it exists, and how best parents can, kind of link up with these universities directly. Often, I mean, all of you are from experience must be knowing, it's much better to hear from a university what the university offers rather than friends, neighbors, and, everybody else where opinion can be a little subjective, right? So these we invite universities from literally all over the world. There are people coming in from the US, from Canada, from UAE itself, from India. They come there, they spend a couple of days on campus. They set up their stalls, and it is an open invite for all parents of grades 11 and 12 to come in, talk to them, interact with them, find out what best is available out there for their son and daughter. Yeah. Okay. So we move on to building the educational community. Education community, like I remind you, is again this group of schools that we are talking about. How do we network? We network with all institutions, public and private. We network with regulatory bodies, for us the KHDA, and our accreditation body. We are a CBSE school, so obviously we have very close links. So we attempt to establish very close links with those institutions. How do we communicate? Through dialogue, discussion, meetings, interactions. We're very particular about attending all these meetings, about getting feedback from those meetings, about seeing how best we analyze that feedback, see where it can be of help to us, where we can pitch in and offer something. Collaborate. How do we collaborate with other schools? We incentivize them to share and learn together. We focus on what is successful for each of the schools respectively. What works for me may not be happening in your school in quite the same way. So when we speak of collaboration, we talk about sharing success stories, right? And education is everyone's business. That's Mr. Ashok Kumar's motto, if I may say so. Yeah? All right. And provide, how do we provide all schools? What do we provide them with? We forge partnerships. We share best practices, and we organize and coordinate on behalf of just about everybody who seeks it from us. Okay? This, like I said, if I may borrow a phrase from the inaugural session as quoted by Dr. Karam, he said, defy status quo, right? This is the best example of how the Indian high school has defied status quo. There used to be a time when public schools were public schools and private schools were private schools, and the two kind of coexisted. But I don't know, I'm very new here, so I don't know if there was, interaction and how strong and how close those links were. But here is a partnership that the Indian High School forged with the Zabeel Senior Secondary School, which is a public school. It's called the Let Us Rise Together program, and let me take you, into the, finer details of this program, how it came about and how we kind of established that bond. The purpose of it was to facilitate exchange of knowledge, experience, skills, and resources between the schools. That's the stated purpose. The background to it is, in 2009, we've had our inspections now. It's 4 years since our DSIB cycles began. At the end of round 1 or round 2 of the inspection cycle in the year 2009, we got this, exactly this, in our report. There was a need for us to improve upon our Arabic, and at the same time, we received recommendation for the effective use of ICT in teaching and learning. So here is a situation where the school has a need and a strength. So we went around looking for other schools that had a need and a strength at which we could kind of share or work together. Like I said, communicate, but communicate looking for a purpose, right? Okay. So what happens is we establish ties with Zabeel School. That's where networking helps. And this is the alignment between, the two schools in order to take the program forward. Focus on what is successful for us, ICT integrated teaching and learning. Change comes from within. What did our teachers say after reading that report? Indian high school Arabic teachers felt that, there was a need for professional training and continual support, or perhaps they said that, we are doing this, but perhaps we need a little more input and we need a little more, advice and suggestions on how better we can take our Arabic teaching and curriculum transaction forward. So partnership with a local school to enrich Arabic. Now it is best that we do this with a public school so that where the first language itself is Arabic, so that there is no confusion about anything, about curriculum, about diction, about pronunciation, about anything at all. And sharing with the community our expertise and knowledge. So what we actually did was we gave them our ICT and we borrowed their Arabic expertise. Okay? So that's exactly what Indian High School and Zabeel School has done and is doing until this day. We set up ICT teaching and learning infrastructure for them, right? That means we gave them computers, we gave them projectors, we set up an e-learning classroom for them. Our teachers went there and trained their teachers on how to use ICT in a classroom while conducting a lesson. We also did staff training for them, and we gave them a guidance in day-to-day implementation. What we wanted is not that ICT be established, a classroom be established and left there, but that teachers and students get used to the idea and concept of using ICT in daily classroom transactions, right? And in exchange, Zabeel School teachers gave us all of this. What did they give us? They conducted model classes for our Arabic teachers. So there was a lot of, coming and going. You can see, that was the staff coming in and going, and here are our students. You can see the students from their school and from our school sitting together. So there was a lot of conversational Arabic that was going on. There was a lot of professional Arabic at the teacher level training going on. So the comfort level of our students in listening to Arabic and in using Arabic on a day-to-day level kind of increased. And at the same time, the teachers got the hang of how we go about a typical lesson in training, in, planning, in methodologies, in teaching aids. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And like I said, it is still ongoing. So there's still people coming in and, we are on a day-to-day kind of basis with them. Okay. So that is one example of how we collaborate and coordinate with other schools. Now, like I said, we also network with our accreditation bodies, right? This is one example of how we coordinate with the CBSE. The CBSE about 5 years ago, sir? Yeah. 5 years ago, launched the international curriculum. I don't know how many of you are, aware of that. There is a CBSE curriculum which is run across all CBSE curriculum schools in India, and which we were following, until 5 years ago. What CBSE has done now is, because the number of CBSE schools outside of India has increased, that curriculum they sensed needed to be a little different from the national curriculum that is run within India's, geographical boundaries. So there is a little bit of change in the curriculum. But when CBSE was looking for a worldwide launch, please, when it was looking for a worldwide launch of that curriculum, they chose to do it in Indian High School, Dubai. That's the extent of trust. That's the extent of understanding of our system. That's the extent of their faith in our infrastructure, facilities, leadership, right? In order to get this launch going, okay? So we had teachers, principals from as far away as Japan and, Singapore, yeah, coming into our school, attending the launch, getting trained by CBSE on our campus. It was a huge, huge affair. Like I said, I'm just giving you examples of our work. Now, workshop on environment, this happened recently and therefore I'm choosing to share it with you. There is this Gulf Council of CBSE schools. That means the areas of Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, the Gulf region, all the CBSE schools of this region have formed a council together. So we are very active participants in that council. Sir has been chairman of that council for about two terms, sir? 2 terms. Yeah. 2 terms he has headed that council as chairman, as secretary in various capacities. So what happens is when we run these programs, please understand we are running it again for and on behalf of the entire student community. Like when I'm talking about Gulf Council, so that means there are students coming in from Kuwait, from Qatar, from Bahrain. So those are pictures of that training program that was held. You can see students, those of you who are familiar with our uniform, and we'll be able to draw a difference between the students from other schools interacting with the presenter. And this is another example. This is a workshop in English by teachers of our school, again for all CBSE schools in the Gulf. Workshop in science by our teachers for all CBSE teachers. Sorry. Alright, now sports. In sports, what happens? Sports is a huge, huge program in our school. The amount of infrastructure that we have, the kind of facilities we have, the kind of training that we have, but over and above that, the kind of opportunities that we give our children is phenomenal. And for you to understand that, you must know that our school is perhaps the only school, at least in the UAE, that sends the largest contingent of students to go all the way back to India and participate in the CBSE international level tournaments, right? So our students are playing at the local level, that means at the UAE level, they're competing with the schools here. Then they compete at a regional level, that means, the Gulf area. After having succeeded in that, they are flown all the way to India and in order to participate in that program. And you will know as educators, for a student, there is nothing better in life than an opportunity to compete, right? In order for him to assess himself against standards that prevail all over the world. In order to give you an idea of, the impact of these programs on a student of our school, I invite Aditya Suresh.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aditya Suresh, and I study in grade 9 of the Indian High School, Dubai. Ours is a school which provides facilities to all students to improve their existing skill set. With an entire block dedicated to sports, it is aptly named the Sports Complex, where students can drop by at their free time during their proxy periods and play just for leisure or with an aim to improve their game. With the help of numerous activities conducted in our school, the school has identified the sportsman spirit in me and has helped me to develop in football, athletics and chess. When I talk about football, I joined the football coaching classes in grade 3. My coach spotted a talent in me and thought, if this boy is tapped in the right way, he can become a potential asset. So our practice sessions went on, and I slowly worked my way into captaining the under-14 school team. If football requires one skill set, then chess requires another. I began playing chess just for leisure, and which was possible due to easily accessible, rooms for playing chess and easily accessible equipment. I used to play with my classmates very often, and then the school helped me to become better at the game, and that is when I represented the school at the CBSE Nationals. My family always told me, especially my brother, you're light enough for the wind to carry you to the finishing line. Well, I don't know if it is this theory that helps me in track and field, especially in the long jump events, or if it is the practice and the countless tips that I get from my coaches. Well, Justin Gatlin, most of you must be knowing him, is my favorite athlete. He helped me to get off the block and onto the track. My school has been the force that propelled me forward and guided me from there to where I am today. Thank you.
Thanks, Abhishek. So what needs to be understood here, ladies and gentlemen, is that the school is doing, but then unless there is an impact on them, on the students who are the direct beneficiaries of what we do, the entire purpose would be lost. It would be a meaningless exercise, right? So therefore, that is why we thought it is best to hear it from a student as to what happens when a school commits itself to doing, all these kind of things that we end up doing. The reason I'm showing you this is for you to understand how in each of these, these are all CBSE competitions, how we conducted the UAE cluster for it, and then our children went on to compete in India at the international level.
What is being conducted at just one venue, that is Indian High School here, is being conducted at 5 different venues in India. So you can imagine the kind of coordination and networking that we need. And the story does not end there. Now what the school has extended and in bringing him up, he in his part, on his side, has extended it to others who are having real basic problems in their life. Let's see how he helped them.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So if that was working along with our Indian body CBSE, then here we have an example of how we coordinate with the local authorities too. Right. There was this event. I mean, all schools were invited to participate in it. There was the second West Asia Athletics Championship, the inaugural ceremony of which was held at the Dubai Police Stadium on 12, 13 and 15. There were 4,000 students of the Indian high school who participated. We did a drill display for them. A side purpose of it was also to give an awareness to the general public about the Expo 2020 that's coming up. So please understand that these are serious agenda on the leadership, at the leadership level of the country itself. And here as a small school, we are trying to promote that, right? That's what linking and that's what collaborating is all about. So this is an example of how we work with local authorities. Yeah, the environment programs, of course, Indian high school is always there, in any and all of them. Oh yes, this is very interesting. Another exercise that's been happening in our school is sharing best practices. Now we have been acknowledged an outstanding school, but we would not like to live with that outstanding tag within ourselves, as a unit. We would like to throw open our gates and invite anyone who would like to come over and spend a day with us and observe the finer happenings within the campus that makes us an outstanding school. So we've actually opened out our campus to any school expressing an interest to come over and spend a day with us. So here are a couple of schools, the local schools, who are sitting and discussing with our administrative heads. Here is a school that came all the way from India. I don't know how many of you are aware, Modern School, Barakamba Road, Delhi. That's supposed to be one of the outstanding schools in the national capital. Here is staff from them. They spend all of 3 days with us. When they spend days with us, please understand that they are entering our classrooms. They are observing teaching and learning going on there. They are entering our auditorium. They are observing our programs going on there. They are entering our transport. They are observing how buses come and go. They are entering our medical center, observing how our center functions. So it is not just sitting and we are conducting a guided tour for them. No, they are all over the campus and they are they're taking down their own notes as to what best they can take away in order to run in their institution per se. Alright, here is one more example. This is a school. This was actually headed by a ministerial team. Yeah, another school from down Kerala. That's the other extreme of India. They came over and again spent some time with us, exchanged notes with us, observed our classes, took away a lot of useful stuff that they could attempt to run in their campus. Now, we also work through the Round Square program. I don't know how many of you have a program of that nature running in your campus, but Round Square is an international program, really. There's a lot of student-staff interaction that this program allows for. Okay, so here this is an example of some students who represented a group of schools from India. They were there on our campus for about 4 days, 5 days. We conducted a whole host of training programs and workshops for them. We also organized a workshop for them conducted by Dr. Karam himself. Yeah, he did the training for those children. It was a brilliant, brilliant program. It's also there on their website, the details of that collaboration. There was a training program for them. So it's not that the students come and idle around. We have an agenda for them. We want to work with them, right? So this is a training program that they attended in the Canadian University. Now it was not all work, there was also play involved. Yeah, we took them around and we kind of spent time with them. The idea is for at a student level, and I'll also show you examples of how teacher level. There's a lot of coming, going, there's a lot of activity. If I may borrow Rahul Gandhi's word, beehive, right? That's exactly what Indian High School's campus is all about. Okay, so it's not only about them coming over and spending time with us, it's also about us going and spending time beyond them. So that's an example of how our children visited the Dhirubhai Ambani school and attended a program there. Fine, now to our third community, which is the societal community. This is the largest, obviously, because we're talking about society as a whole. How do we network and with whom do we network? With social and charitable organizations, with ministries, affiliations and subsidiaries of ministries, with the Indian Embassy and Consulate, we being an Indian school. Okay? How do we communicate? With the associations and organizations to seek avenues or remain prepared for collaboration. So when there is a need, Indian High School is ready to kind of step in. Collaborate to provide infrastructure, facilities, manpower for welfare of the community or society. And what do we provide? We provide financial material support, especially for disaster management and emergency relief. Right? So we'll talk about this. This is, like I said, in a whole host of programs. This is one program that we'd really like to share in detail with you. We have a permanent association with the Rashid Pediatric Center. All of us knows the work that Rashid Pediatric Center does in Dubai, right? It's an organization devoted to students with special needs. We, like I said, this is the communication center that we established for them. That means it's entirely financed, it's entirely set up. Everything over there has been done by the school itself. So this is this. Every year we give them, I would hesitate to use the term donation because I don't know if that's what that is. It is more a gesture of acknowledging our happiness to be associated with them and to work with them. And please understand that our association is not just financial. It's not that we make an offer and that's it. Our students keep going over. Their students keep coming over. When we have our programs, we make it a point to ensure that there is a small element of that program that's reserved for students of the Rashid Pediatric Center. So they are happy to come over. They do a small skit, a dance, whatever it is, at whatever level. We leave it to them. But the point is they are there with us. Yeah? Alright, so this is an art project that our students did with them. In fact, in this program, we also brought along an Indian element. There were students of the British school in New Delhi who were visiting us, so we took them also along to the Rashid Pediatric Center. It was a joint project between us two, that is the Indian High School and the British school, and the students of Rashid Pediatric Center who worked collaboratively on that project. Okay, now here I need to get this playing for you. So
Here who has been the youngest choreographer for the summer camp this time. He's choreographed dances for children with special needs. And he's here to give us a special performance today. So big round of applause for Aditya.
yeah, it is from the USB. Sorry, that was a media film.
Here who has been the youngest choreographer for the summer camp this time. He's choreographed dances for children with special needs. and he is here to give us a special performance today. The big round of applause for Aditya.
Sorry.
We could move to the next.
We go to the next? Okay. Sorry. The purpose behind that tape was to share with you how our students involve themselves with another association, which is the special needs families. I don't know if you all are familiar with that. That's a group that we have very close links with. And in fact, they run their summer camp on our campus every year. Every year, the summer camp of special needs families is conducted on our campus. But that's not the only linking that we have. Our students, in fact, that's what the tape was about. Our students go there and work with those children. A little bit of dancing, a little bit of singing at their level, whatever their comfort is. We do have those collaborations. All right, here are pictures of our students going all the way to Bhopal, India, building, schools. Helping in the building, actual construction of schools and even toilets actually, in one particular village in India. Okay. Right. Now, association with our Consulate General, Office of the Consulate General. This is another association that is, that's been there for years together over the past. It's a very close association to the extent that the Indian Republic Day for the general public of Dubai is held on the campus of the Indian High School. So the Republic Day program of the school is not just the Indian High School Republic Day program. It's the Indian Republic Day program for the entire community of Dubai. So the Consul General is there who posts the flag, who reads out the message from the president, and the visiting public on that given day is just about any and every Indian who's there in Dubai. That's how wide we open our gates on that day. That's how wide we, throw open our networking and our, how wide we give access to every member of society over here. Okay, this is another program that we did with the consulate. This is just an example in a host of programs. The Non-Violence Day, October 2nd, Gandhi Jayanti, was celebrated as Non-Violence Day a couple of years ago. This picture will actually give you an idea of all the consul generals, who attended that program because it was a consulate program. Please understand, the program was a program of the Consulate General of India, but Indian High School facilitated in running that program by offering its infrastructure, its staff, its manpower, its, facilities and resources. Okay. Now, another example of how we work with community. Indian High School is perhaps the only school in the region, at least in the Gulf. For one particular exam, it is the entire Gulf, where students who have to take an admission test at the university level. That means I'm talking about students who have completed grade 12 in UAE or anywhere in the Gulf, who seek admissions to universities in India. They have to take a mandatory test, all right? It's called the Engineering Admissions Exam, it's called the Medical Entrance Exam, it's called the Chartered Accountancy Entrance Exam, a whole host of exams which Indian universities demand as a prerequisite in order to gain admission. So if it were not for the facility of Indian High School opening its campus and offering it as a center, there is no choice but for us to go back all the way to India just to write a test. And for those of us who know education in India as it exists, a typical Indian student at grade 12 level needs to attempt at least 4 or 5 exams before he finally, gets one admission into one particular university. So that means you would expect a parent to fly 4 different times back and forth just to write an exam. Or you inconvenience the family by, taking an entire month off, because it normally happens this time in the month of April and May. That's when all these entrance exams are going on. So in order to convenience the entire family, in order to provide a facility for a host of Indian families that are residing here, we seek, obviously, it is not easy for a school to gain these, to gain these, permits to run an exam. There has to be requirements that we satisfy. So it is an example of how we, gain that trust. If I can just show you this, do I move forward? Fine, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. This is just a brief summary of how we kind of, consolidate all our programs, the school community, education community, and society. The examples that we spoke of was Friday Family, public-private school partnership, that was the real school, coordination with CBSE, visits by other schools, and for society, we had our RPC, we had our Consul General of India office, and we had our professional exams. Thank you.